spaced out aftermath. So we're doing the aftermath of my gig on Saturday. I'm going to tell you all about how that went. But unfortunately, we have to start the show on a little bit of bad news, unfortunately. And I read on Facebook today that the legend Dario G has sadly passed away, which it always kind of really guts me when you hear of like artists passing away, especially ones that have played like influence in your life. And when I mean like influence in your life, artists can have maybe like, I don't know, produced, a certain track, and maybe you loved it and it was your favorite track at one point, or they could have done like a range of tracks that you just absolutely loved, and unfortunately them passing away is quite a gutting thing. So Dario G was an amazing guy. He made some absolute belters, from Dream to Me to probably one of his most famous tracks and my favourite track, which was Sunshine. That was an absolute belter of a track, and it was really. I believe it was really kind of like ahead of its time. It was a really amazing track, and he was a really big sort of like Euro dance producer, sort of in the 90s, and he's been around for a very very long time. And believe it or not, it actually wasn't that long ago. I watched a video, and it was behind like the story behind Sunshine, which was absolutely crazy. And now obviously reading that he sadly passed away. So, of course, my thoughts go out to friends and family who are obviously affected at the time. And I've listened to Sunshine today, and really listened to it because the piano is absolutely wicked in it. It's got like a really, really nice piano at the beginning of the track, and then it like transitions into this sort of really nice, sort of groovy melody sound. You just can't beat Sunshine, and it's always good to play them feel good tracks and pay tribute to the artists that made them, because we listen to, I don't know, say classic dance CDs, and we put things on the radio, and we listen to tracks and we sing along. But the truth behind it is people actually sit there and they put these tracks together. And back in them days, especially in the 90s, when you couldn't just drag samples into FL Studio like you can now. I mean, what they did compared to what I do, there is no comparison. What they did was absolutely amazing, and they used, back in them days, it was all, you wanted a xylim, you had to physically get a physical instrument from a shop called xylim. There was no, I think late 90s, early 2000s, like production software was just starting to come in, but they were in like their very basic forms. Like they didn't do half the things that they can obviously do now. So it's always amazing, when you hear so well put together tracks that were done in them times. I mean, we kind of take, what we've got nowadays for granted. The fact that we can just get packs full of sounds, and we can just drag the sounds in. It's crazy. So yeah. So unfortunately, it's rest in peace to Dario G. What an absolute legend. And yeah, thoughts go out to the friends and family. So, Spaced Out. What can I tell you about Spaced Out over the weekend? Other than the fact that it was a good vibe, I enjoyed myself. It was an enjoyable gig. It wasn't the best gig I've done, but it was an enjoyable gig. There was an issue with the sound system, which was a little bit annoying. That the sound just didn't sound that good. They knew themselves that the sound wasn't on top of their game, and they were trying to sort it, but they were having some form of issues with it. And the mic sort of situation was not the best. Now I always bring my own microphone if I'm doing a gig, sort of MCing wise, and this was one of my final sort of MC gigs before I sort of step aside to focus on the DJing sort of side of things. And there was like some issues going on with mic wires. So I plugged my mic wire in, and everything just sounded better. Like we had a good wire that wasn't cutting out. The only issue is I was leaving before the end of the event, and when I was leaving, I was taking the mic wire. Now, they did say like, look, we'll send you the wire in the post, like if you could leave the wire. And I don't really like doing that, but like at a push I'll do it, like if I like really know the person. Like I did it to one of my friends last year. Someone had nicked his mic wire, and he sort of asked me, look, could I leave my mic wire with him, and I said, yeah, all right, go on then, and he did send me it in the post, and I would have maybe done it on Saturday, but I knew that I had some sort of like gigs and things coming up where I'm gonna like need the mic, so. And plus, like when I do live streams and things at home, I use the microphone. So, just for me, I just didn't want that risk of it taking like 2 or 3 weeks to come in the post, because the guys just he never got round to sending it, and then I've had to sort of G him up and say, listen, look, send me that mic wire back in the post. So, unfortunately for them, I took the lead with me. I made sure that I took the lead with me, because I needed it for other things prior, so sort of after the event. I've got it in a couple of weeks when we go to Driffield, and we do the gig in the book. I want the mic for that. And I want things to obviously go smoothly for that. And although I could go and buy another mic lead, it's like, why should I have to when I've got a mic lead that works? So this time I unfortunately refused to leave the wire with them, and decided to take it with me. But apart from that, it was a good vibe. I enjoyed my set. I went back to back with another MC. I forget his name, but he was kind of like he was just starting out, really, sort of just doing his first sort of couple of sort of like gigs on stage and stuff, and he had a good flow, and he had some alright bars, but he didn't always necessarily know where to come in on a track, and he didn't always necessarily know how to work with a track. Like, he had an alright flow, but it was just knowing when to start sort of like MCing, and then when to not MC, and stuff like that. But then I think sort of as the set went along, it got kind of he sort of saw the way I was doing it, and then I think he sort of picked up a little bit, and got better as the set went along. What do I do for work? So I work for an organisation called the Goodwin Development Trust. So the Goodwin Development Trust, they do a wide variety of different things. I'm not going to sit there and say everything that they do, but they help unemployed people get back into work. They do housing, so like they do like supported housing, so you can go on a list and get like a house with them. They do things like maths and English, so like if you didn't sort of like pass your maths and English at school, you can go and do your maths and English. They do almost like little small work placements where you can do, like it's like a program called Create to Change. I've been on it myself. It's like a 7-week project, and you kind of like they sort of support you with like a job, or like a work, like a paid work experience type thing. So you can either do it at Goodwin, with some of the Goodwin projects, or like they support you like going to work, say like in another business, like a cafe or like a restaurant. It's kind of like almost like a getting you ready, and then if the business actually likes you, then they might take you on after the 7 weeks. And then we do loads of other cool things. So there's a project called the Youth Arts Takeover, which I'm a part of. and that is kind of like doing like loads of creative arts kind of things. So we do like badge making. We do like a big part of it that I'm not too much involved in. We do video game making, so we make video games, only like little basic like top-down RPG sort of video game stuff. No, we don't go into like the Unreal Engine and stuff and do like game making with coding, but we kind of do like the basics, and then we make like board games. That's a big part of it. And then through that, we have a music side of things, and that is where I come in. That is like my official job. So I run a project called the Hull Youth Music Network Project, and it's a project aimed at 16 to 29-year-olds to kind of feedback, and we give them opportunities to kind of say like you know um, like what's missing within the music scene in Hull. So we put these little networking events on, and people can come. We put like live acts on, so we give like up and coming bands and artists an opportunity to perform on stage. And we give like people who turn up to the event like a chance to fill out these feedback forms, and they sort of tell us what they think is missing, or what do they want to see more of in Hull, what do they want to see more of our network doing, how can we facilitate sort of like artists and musicians needs. And it's like a really fun job because I'd get to do lots of cool things like running music workshops and recording studios, and there's loads of things. So um, do I have a do I have a dis? Do you mean a disability? Um, so like, do I have a disability? So, suspectedly, I have autism, but not diagnosed. It's like, so when I was younger, my mum kind of thought that there was something there, like that, I had autism or something. My nan, for whatever reason, didn't seem to think really at first that there was. So they had, apparently, I mean, I was too young to remember, but they had a little bit of a disagreement over it, a bit of a debate, and that resulted in me like never getting like diagnosed, if that makes sense. And then kind of obviously as I got older, there was just things that sort of led sort of me and led like other people to think like you could be autistic, you could have autism, that kind of thing. So I don't fully know if I've got it, but I've definitely got like some form of something, because like there's certain things I do and certain habits that sort of are kind of like signs of having autism, stroke, maybe ADHD. But I don't fully know. I've always like struggled with like reading and writing, and like believe it or not, wasn't until I was about 7 years old before I actually learned to catch a ball. Like, because of my eyesight, I really struggled with like catching balls, and balls kind of like being thrown towards me. Like, because of my eyesight, it was like I didn't see them come until like they were really close to me, and then that used to like creep me the hell out. So I'd used to like flinch and get scared, as if like the ball was gonna hit me. Because to me it felt like it was near, like even if it wasn't. Um, so it wasn't till about 7, and I had to go to like a special room. So like I got taken out of school, and I went to see this special woman, and they used to like do things with me, like learning to catch a ball, and I had to have like special pens that I could hold properly and things. So I had a bit of a weird childhood, to say the least. But I've definitely come a long way since them days. So that sucks, man. And, I didn't really see it as an issue because, in all honesty, for me, like catching a ball, it didn't really interest me. So, when I was really, really young, my mum and dad put me in like football training. So I did like this like indoor football thing, and I was just never interested in it. So, you know, to me, not being able to catch a ball or kick a ball, it wasn't a big thing for me because I just thought, well, I'm not interested in it anyway. But obviously, I can catch one and kick one now. um, so, your grace, Jesus, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. I'm not religious. I'm not religious. But yeah. So anyway, we went off topic as we do quite a bit in these streams now. So Spaced Out was a good vibe. I enjoyed myself, and it was enjoyable. And like I say, the guy I was emceeing with, it's almost like he sort of got better as the set went along. But he just struggled a little bit on like where to come in on a track, and sometimes like he wants sure like do I spit here, don't I spit here, and then just I don't really know what to suggest, that kind of thing. And then, like I say, as he sort of saw me going through the set, he kind of realised, all right, so this is good. And then I was giving him signals, so like if a drop was coming, I was like, you spit on this one, like go on. And then I'd say things on the mic like take it away, and then he'd know to come in. So I was trying to help him, because I always kind of, like try like if I'm on a set with like somebody and they're kind of new to it all, I like to kind of not just go in and like just boss the set like like I would do solo. I like to try and think, right, well, this guy might not always know to be sort of like on form like me and know exactly everywhere when to come in. So I tried to just take it a little bit easier, give him chance to spit, give him chance and sort of let him know, look, you can come in on this drop. And I think it just essentially works a bit better when they've not done it before, or when they're new to doing it on stage and things, most definitely. So yeah, so it was it was a good vibe. We left at 1 o'clock, and believe you and me, we left at 1 o'clock. So I don't know what was going on with the layman. I really do not know. But like he told me from the off, like like he finishes at 1 o'clock from doing the photos. We're leaving at 1 o'clock, and that always, like, I always take that with a pinch of salt, because by the time you've said bye to everybody, and by the time you've gotten to the car and stuff, it can sometimes get to sort of 20 past 1, half past 1, or sometimes we're going to leave at 1 and we end up leaving at 1:45, that kind of thing. But for some reason, I don't know what it was, but this Saturday, like, he was leaving at 1, and there was no stopping him. There was no way that he was going to leave a second later than 1 o'clock. And I honestly, it was really really crazy. He was like, we're leaving at 1, and like we literally were leaving at 1, and we left at 1. Like literally about 5 to 1. His bag was packed and he was ready to leave, and we left at 1. And I was winding him up. I kept saying, like, because we met up for food before the event, and I just put my hand on his shoulder and said, "Oh yeah, bro, I've taken the 3 a.m. set, by the way." I was only joking. I hadn't actually, because what I always take, like, if I'm doing an MC gig, I always take headphones and USBs, just in case, like, for example, a DJ doesn't turn up, and I can go, "Oh, well, I've got a stick if you want me to jump on." But Lehman had made it clear that we was leaving at 1 o'clock, so I was winding him up like, "Yeah, I've taken the 3 a.m. set, by the way." And he was like, "You're joking, aren't you?" And you could see like the look on his face, like if he thought, like, have I actually taken the 3 a.m. set? I think he would have actually left me, no word of a lie. Something made, like, there was something telling me that he really wanted to leave at 1. So I don't know what it was, but I was winding him up, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, bro, they're using my mic wire, so they might need to use it a bit after 1." he's like proper like, no, just go and unplug it. I was proper winding him up, and I was like, I can't, bro. The headliner's on, and he's using the mic wire, the headlining MC. And I was like proper like, and he was like, I don't care, you go and pull that lead out, I'm leaving at one. It was funny, um, but yeah, we left, and the thing that, I suppose, the thing that gutted me the most about the whole entire night. So where we was gigging, there's a kebab shop across the road, and it does really nice doner meat and chips. Like I had it there. I can't remember when it was, but we'd gone there for a night. I don't know if I was gigging or if I'd just gone to attend an event there. But anyway, we'd gone there, and we'd gone across to this kebab place, and I'd got doner meat and chips, and it was really really nice. It was like one of the nicest doner meat and chips I'd ever had. So I had it in my mind that after the event, when we leave, I'm gonna call there and get food. Gonna call there and get a doner meat and chips. And through the event, I was thinking about it, but I'd eaten before we went. Like I'd eaten at Pepe's, so I was kind of like, I wasn't like mega hungry. But I was getting hungry, if that makes sense. So I was trying to like save myself, like to like, because I didn't want to get it and then sort of have like, I don't know, like get about halfway through it and then get full kind of thing. So I thought, what I'll do is, I'll go there on the way out. So when we're about to leave, I'll go and order the food and then we'll leave. Go out about 5 to 1, go get the food, and then take it to the car, and then off we pop. And I come out, and the kebab place was closed, and I honestly, like, I had a face on me the whole way back, and I wanted Lehman to know that I was not happy. And then he was like, I can pull in at Mackey's if you want. And I was like, Mackey's is not gonna cut it. Mackey's is not gonna make up for what I wanted. Like, I didn't want a Mackey's. I wanted that. I wanted to eat that. And it really, I was like, oh, I can't believe that. And then we got back home, and I was so tempted, because I live right near a takeaway, and they don't do a bad doner meat and chips either. It's not horrible. I quite like it, and I was so tempted to walk across to it. But then we got out the car. I was quite tired, and I was right at the main door, sort of like to me block of flats, where I live, and I was just kind of like, even though I only have to sort of more or less go across the road and then just walk up a little bit, I just kind of thought like, can I really be asked to do that? And then, by the time I've waited for it and then walked back with it and then got sat inside and then I've sat there and eaten it, it's gonna be a good nearly another hour before I get to bed. I was peckish. I was a bit hungry at this point, but I just thought I'm just gonna leave it and I'll just get some tomorrow. The following, once I've had a bit of sleep, I'll sort some at the next day. But yeah, I was gutted. I kind of had my heart set on it all night, thinking, that because we normally do go to a Mackey's after an event. But I thought we was going there. I thought, do you know what? I'll go there after the event because it'll make a change from going to a Mackey's and it'll be a bit nicer. And I had my heart set on going there and having this doner meat. And it was closed. It must have closed at midnight or something. I was gutted. And I think the thing about it is, I think takeaways nowadays, like since COVID, a lot of them don't stay open late like they used to do. Like I remember when takeaways used to stay open till like 3-4 a.m. and now there's like pizza shops that are closing at like 12 o'clock. Some close at 1, some close at 12, some even close at 11. And I just kind of think like, like it's, they, like I say, they use even some of them. There was one in Hull, and it was on a road called Princess Ave, and that used to stay open till 5 a.m. and that doesn't stay open till 5 anymore. And I know there's, like cost of living and stuff, and mate, I think takeaways are obviously they'll be feeling the crunch of cost of living as well. And if they stay open, say if it closed at 4 now instead of 5, like if they stayed open till 5 still, that's like another hour of of like grills and lights and electric on, and and microwaves going, and hot pans and pizza ovens and God knows what else, and drink, and things like that. Whereas, I suppose closing a few hours early, it would obviously save on electric when you're turning all the grills and stuff off. So I can understand it in a way, but like when you come out of like events and raves and stuff, like you really need them kebab shops, because after an event, or when you've been in a pub and you've had a few pints, there is like nothing more like satisfying than like having a bag of chips, or getting a kebab, after you've had a skinful, and to finish your night off on a kebab. Like when I used to go out drinking in Drift, and I used to like religiously go to the pub every weekend. Saturday night, it was always our night out, where we'd start off in the Star, we'd go to the Keys, and then we'd go to George's Bar, which is no longer open. But you would always end on cheesy chips. There was only like ever odd times that I didn't go to a takeaway, and that would be like just if I was, that would just be like, if I was too drunk, if I just got too drunk and had to be walked home, or just gone home because I was practically on my arse or something, then I'd miss out. But apart from that, like I would religiously go and get cheese and chips. It was like a thing, get some chips after the event, always go and get chips. But yeah, so anyway, spaced out, absolutely amazing vibe, absolutely fantastic. If you watched the stream that we did the other day, I can't remember what stream it was, but we did a stream, and I think I announced a gig. Yeah, I announced a gig, but I spoke at the end of the gig that I want to get a motorbike again. So for those of you who don't know, about 10 years ago, to the exact 10 years ago, to the exact, so it would have been 10 years ago, December last year, I did my CBT, and I got a moped on the road. I had an Aprilia SR50R racing moped in Italian colours. I think my dad got me it as a birthday present. I paid 900 quid for it, and I did my CBT, and just a little moped to get me from A to B, and I absolutely loved it. It was absolutely amazing. And then I hit 17, and I'd gained a bit of experience on the road, and stuff like that. It gained a little bit more sort of like love for bikes. I was never really as keen on them as a kid, as like my dad and granddad were. So I moved up and I got a 125. I got a Honda NSR. It was a beast of a bike. It was in like black and silver with like yellow on it. So like the sort of like Honda logo was in yellow. It was a really good bike. It was a really powerful bike as well. It had the acceleration on it was actually quite rapid, and at a push you could get this bike to hit around 100. It was you were pushing it and you were really giving it some welly. You could literally you could get it to like you could get it to like 100, like more 9 times out of 10 you'd get it to like 92, 93, 95. But like if you're really pushing it and you're going proper down a straight road and you really got it open, and you could maybe going down a little bit of an hill, like you could just get it to hit a ton, but it wouldn't do no more than that. Like that was really at its limits, but it was a really nippy bike for a 125. and I absolutely loved it. It was my baby, and I rode it for, I think I rode it for nearly 2 years. I think I rode it for maybe a good year and a half solid, sort of on the road, and then I was going to college at the time, so I used it for college, and I got knocked off. So some foreign guy sort of swerved in front of me and then slammed on. It'd been raining, so the roads were just a little bit wet, and I slid off. So I essentially slid off, and I came off, and the guy failed to stop. But luckily, some people, they were in like a shop, sort of like a, well, they were in like a flat above a shop, and they saw it from the window, and they caught the registration plate, and they had to go to like some like driving school, like to learn to drive safely or something, because he failed to stop, and it had been caught on camera and stuff like that. How he swerved in front of me and stuff. So that was obviously, that was obviously like a big thing. Um, so I stopped riding it for a while. I can't remember what. I think I was advised by my grandparents not to ride it for a little bit, just because I was, you'll be a bit shook up kind of thing. And then I think it, like, winter was coming, so like, winter was kind of like, like, don't sort of ride it as much, over winter, and because it's going to be a bit more wet and stuff. And then my CVT ran out, and I redid the test, and then I put it back on the road. And I took, there'd been a little bit of an issue with it, and it hadn't been running for a while, so we got it going, we got it running. My dad said just take it for a little test ride. Don't go far, just take it round the block, and stuff like that. And I was saying that there was an issue with the gears, and like it wasn't selecting some of the gears, it felt like, and I don't know if I was just getting something wrong. So anyway, I set off on this little journey, and I was coming up a road called York Road, and it sort of like takes you out of Driffield, and at this there was like a big van parked, and it was like really visibly hard to see past the van. And it was a bit wet as well, and I'm coming along, and I can't really see anything for the van, but like the actual road itself looked clear from what I could see. So I obviously, turned to go around the van, and as I'm doing that, just after the van, there's a driveway that I couldn't see. I couldn't see this driveway, and someone essentially reversed out of the driveway. They didn't see me, and obviously I didn't see them until they'd obviously come out of the driveway, and I obviously just hit the car and came off the bike. And that was kind of like, I'd only just literally got it on the road for the first time, and I'd only literally gone about, I'd literally been about, I'd be about like, I don't know, about 5 minutes away from my house, if that, at the time, which is crazy. So, my dad had to come, and then he rode the bike back, and I took a ride in my granddad's van, and then I was gonna ride it after that, and I got ripped off by an insurance company, and then due to financial funds, I had to unfortunately sell the bike, which is the biggest regret of my life. Um, so yeah, it was mad. It was a 125cc. So I had to sell it, and I really, deep down, I didn't want to sell it, but like I kind of had to. And someone bought it. Someone, I think they came from Leeds or something like that, and they came and picked it up, which was a little bit, little bit gutted. But yeah, they liked it. They came and picked it up, and that was the end of the bike. So anyway, so we fast forward to 2024, and because of like I do a lot of traveling for work, like around my city and stuff. So I'm sometimes going from one end of the city to the other. So I decided in my mind that I could do with like just getting a little bike again. I'm currently like going in to do my driving lessons again, and I just thought, wow, while that's kind of happening, like just for like work purposes, it would be good just to have something to, something just a little runabout to get me around the city. Um, just when I've got to go and like teach like music lessons and stuff, music sessions. Like tomorrow, I do a music like a mobile studio thing tomorrow at a youth centre, and it's like it's like the other end of Hull. And believe it or not, like last week I walked it, and I've got full intentions of walking it again this week. Um, so um, I've kind of been thinking that because buses could be quite expensive, and I'm thinking like I can spend so much on buses, but like I could like literally just put that into like filling up my petrol tank of whatever bike I own, and and I've got the bike, and not only that, it just gives me a bit more freedom to go on like some little rides out and things, and just essentially take some little nice trips out. If I want to go and visit the grandparents in Driffield, I don't have to worry about it. Is there a train strike? Is there a bus service that's running? Which there normally is a bus service running, but definitely, trains are often striking. Sometimes, you might just want to go and visit them, but maybe not necessarily for long. You might just want to go for a couple of hours, and sometimes, like, just the trains just don't always make it worth it. Whereas I'm on a little ride out. I can just have a ride through to Drift, nice little ride out, and go to Drift essentially, and just go that way, if that makes sense. So we'll see. So all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just keeping an eye out for any bikes. Obviously, I've got to redo my CBT again. That's something I need to do. But apart from that, I just essentially need, I just essentially looking if something comes up cheap enough. Doesn't have to be the best looking thing on planet Earth. It's only just really for me to just get from A to B. Doesn't have to look the best. It's not going to compete in any competitions. It just has to run good. Preferably have a little bit of speed to it. I like 125s that. Preferably I don't want one that maxes out at 60. I would prefer one that would go to like anywhere sort of like between like 70 and 100, like if possible. Like my NSR that went to 100, but you had to be pushing it. Like it didn't just do 100 just like that. Like you had to be proper caning it. But I think anywhere like 75, 80. That'd be like quite a cool thing for me. Anything that can just where I don't feel like I'm going at a snail's pace, and I've got everybody overtaking me like I did when I was on my moped. Although that moped, believe it or not, that maxed out at about 50. And that was quite quick for a moped. It was a moped that was sort of on the more quicker side of things, and it was a really good moped. But especially on like longer journeys, you felt people overtaking you. Like when I was going from Driffield to Hull to college, that wasn't too bad because a lot of the road I had to take had been reduced to a 50 zone. So like you had to do 50 anyway. Whereas like going to other places where you're just at the normal national speed limit of like doing the 60, and cars speeding and other bikes passing you. It just wasn't, it wasn't necessarily the best thing. But I do remember one time I'd got my moped, and I hadn't been on it that long, and I was a little bit naughty actually. And I hadn't been on it long, and my dad was kind of like, just stay local, so just sort of stay around Driffield, don't be going out of town, don't be going too far. And me and my mate on our bikes, we decided, we're gonna go out of town, and we're gonna go to Brid, and I thought, all right, yeah, let's do it. And I haven't really got too much experience of riding out of town yet at this point, but I was obviously, um, like, yeah, don't tell me, Dad, but I'm gonna go, gonna go to Brid. It was just getting it was getting dark. It was night, so don't go far, and we did. And anyway, we was riding along this road, um, and this guy, like a chav in a Corsa, overtook me, and he was really smug about it. He really proper, he doing a dance in his car and like sticking his finger up at me, yeah, take that, I'm passing you, bitch. And it really annoyed me. I was like, really like mugging me off for the fact that I was on a little moped, and he could go a lot faster than me. So we got to a village, a little village, and it's only a very, very small village, and it's just one straight road through. It's not a big village at all. As a matter of fact, like the main road is like a really short part of the village, and I think you've got to turn off the main road to go to like more of the village. And anyway, cut the story short, we got to this village and he slowed down. And I passed him. I passed him in the village. There was nothing coming. We got to sort of just near the end of the village. He hadn't sped up yet, and I overtook him. And I did a little song and dance, and I stuck my fingers up at him, and it was absolutely amazing. It felt so good. Like I felt, I honestly felt like I felt amazed. I just felt absolutely buzzed that I got that opportunity to take the guy out. Like I really got my own back. Because I don't. I think the thing about it is he didn't expect that. In that village, I was just gonna straight up overtake him and like stick my fingers back up. And I know, like, he could have just overtook me again outside of the village, and I think he did. But he didn't stick his fingers up or anything that time. But it was just the fact that, like, I thought, like that I came back and I got my own back. And it was just quite a funny story. So something I'll always remember, from the moped days. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I just want something that is going to get me from A to B. But will have a little bit of power behind it, and something that'll, I can take on some rides out as well. Not just going to work. Like, going to work will be a big part of it, but more just, um, more like, so I can, like, if it's I don't know, a nice Sunday, and I just feel like I want to go for a ride somewhere, then I can go and have a ride somewhere, and that kind of thing, and go for, go from there, kind of thing. But yeah, so anyway, so I'll update you, if I do get a bike, or if anything like comes up, or there's any updates on the bike situation. And I might get a camera, like a helmet camera, and do some like filming of like some rides out and things. One thing I really do want to do is, I want to take a bike over to the Isle of Man. That is for me. I want to go over to the Isle of Man. I want to go on a bike. Definitely. The only thing is, going on a 125 is not necessarily the best. Like getting to the docks where the boat is, because if you don't know, like if you live in the UK and you ride like a 50cc or a 125, you can't legally take them on motorways. You're not allowed to take them on a motorway. If you're riding with L plates, you can't take L plates onto a motorway. So, like, going to places like Liverpool, like, I'd have to do it all by the A roads, and of course the A roads, that would take a long while, to get to Liverpool, by the A roads, you know not necessarily a good thing. So I'd have to work out sort of how I'd like really go about doing that. Like there would be a way to do it, but it would just take a very very long time, and it would probably you'd end up probably taking like 6 7 hours or something. If I was on a motorbike, and it could max out, I don't know, around 70 75 miles an hour. And I don't know, I'm taking A roads, but obviously I'd have to like slow down for villages, and there'd be a lot of stuff, probably a lot of ways to actually. Do you know what? While we're on the stream, I want to just roughly see how long it would actually take, just as a rough estimate, to get from Hull to Liverpool. A roads. Don't know why it came up with so liver so Liverpool. Let's have a look, because I'm actually quite intrigued. So of course the normal sort of you know it, so 2 hours and 31 minutes if you go by the usual, so if you do the normal M62. However, I'd like to see how I could do it via the A roads. Apparently, if you walked, it'd take 2 days, and the train takes 3 hours. And if you went on a push bike, it would take 13 hours. So that's quite mad. Is there any other see any details? All right, yeah, no, that's just telling you. Right, that hasn't really helped me. That hasn't really helped me. Let's have a look again. So Hull to Liverpool, taking the A roads. So how far did he do? Right. I don't know why it comes up with Arco, unless that's on oh, it's on Liverpool Street. That's why. All right, let's have a look. I don't know how I can get Google Maps to kind of tell me, like the way of doing it, if that makes sense. So I'm guessing. So go to York, and then I'm guessing I could go down the A. What's this road? Is this the A? It did just literally tell me. Ah, there. Is it the A64? I think it's the A64. So I'd have to take that into Leeds, and then possibly bypass Leeds, and then go. I'm guessing I'd have to go like to Bradford, and then from Bradford, I would probably have to go towards Skipton. Would Skipton do it? And then maybe go across at Skipton, to Long Preston, and then go to in past all these little villages. Where am I? No, that actually that's wrong. I actually started heading a different way. So when I get to Leeds, what I'd have to do is I'd have to go down to like take the A roads to Manchester, and then so yeah, there is a way to do it. Like I say, it would probably take like a hell of a long time. Um, like obviously, if I do it from my location, it just tells me, to go across the motorways. So A63. So what I'd have to do is before it. Let's have a right. I think what I'd have to do is so let's have a look. Apparently that's my location. That's not my location. My location is actually from here. So let's go from there. Right. Let's have a look and see what it's roughly going to tell me, if I can. So, come out of Riverside, go that way. I don't know why it then wanted to. Right, that is definitely weird. Oh, right. Right, for some reason it wants me to, like, every time I suggest it. Oh, I know why. Because you can't. Yeah, I understand why now. Yeah, so, oh, yeah, I know why now. Because you can't come out of my place. Like, we're adding time on, but I'm like trying to change, like, the direction of, like, where we're going. Yeah, so we need to go this way. Yeah. Right, where's that going to take us now? Because I think that's going to divert us. Yeah, that's taking us towards South Cave. And then that's going to, yeah, and then that wants to take us back to the M62. So I don't want to do that. So we're going to have to take it this way instead. Market Wheaton. Straight on at Shipton Thorpe. Go all the way there. Yeah, bypass York. There's York. That's Leeds. So, what I'd have to do, I'd probably have to go through Leeds. Like, I know I've like really, like, and this would be without like trying to hit motorways. Like, yeah, it's hard. like whatever it wants to kind of take me back to the M62. Like there's like no getting around it, to be fair. Um, Send directions to your phone, options, um, miles, um, avoid motorways. Ah, here we are. Alright, so this avoids motorways. Oh. Alright, I've actually found. So like avoid. Right, I've got it now. So this still takes me up the. Alright, yeah, so I turn off. Alright, yeah, yeah, I see. So this has actually avoided me from like motorways. So I go from right. So I go Castleford, Wakefield. Jeez. So I go through Oldham, Manchester, and then from Manchester to Liverpool. It's not too bad, and actually it takes 3 hours and 52 minutes. So it is actually doable to do it via the A roads. Road work dependent. So that does actually work. That's quite mad. Anyway, that was just something quite interesting that I thought I'd like try and have a look into. Make sure to like, comment, share. See you soon.